So our next speaker wasn't actually expecting to speak. Um, I've made a mistake. I penciled him in for August the 15th, but clearly he's so eager, he sent me some message through the paramatmic and paramparic mechanism, desiring to speak so badly that he compelled me to make an error today through his desire. So I just texted him saying, are you ready, Prabhu, to come on in half an hour? I don't know what time it is in Ohio, but it's probably pretty early. And thank the Lord, he wasn't in the middle of something else. And he said, yes, I can pop on anyhow. So he's going to speak for a little bit now, and he's going to be back on August the 15th as well. Sriman Pankaj Prabhu was born a devotee in 1971 and came to Gurudeva, took Harinam and Diksha in 1999. He's an ebullient and enthusiastic and beautiful example of what I call integrated bhakti, where he's able to be a beautiful servant of Srila Gurudeva while handling worldly matters at the same time, which is not an easy thing to do. So a very warm welcome and a big thank you. I humbly pay my obeisances to you for being willing to improvise and come on at such short notice. Thanks, Pankaj. Haribol, over to you.
So there's no other way for me because I really, I'm not a very good at preparing things anyway. So yeah, so even when I went to acting school, I didn't like scripts, At some point I realized, after 1.5 years of acting school, so I went to improv comedy for almost 2 years. So Om Agyan Trimanandasya Gyananjan Shalakya Chakshur Mitam Yena Tasme Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishwapadaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Namine. Namaste. Namo Vishwapadaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Namine. Shri Krishna Lila Katane Dakshamadharya Madhura Gunecha Yuktam Varnam Varinam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tvam Shisha Namami. Namo Vishwapadaya Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvesha Shunyavati Paschati Teshitarine. Namo Vishwapadaya Acharya Singrupane Shrimad Bhakti Pragyan Kesha Goswami Namine. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasati Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Vancha Kalpatru Kripa Sindhu Bhai Vacha Patitaram Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. So first of all, I offer my unlimited Dandavat Pranam at the lotus feet of my Param Radhitam Gurudev Nityalila Vishnu Vishwapashla Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Also at the lotus feet of my Param Radhitam Gurudev Nityalila Vishnu Param Radhitam Shiksha Gurudev Nityalila Vishnu Vishwapashla Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj. Also at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev Nityalila Vishnu Vishwapashla Bhakti Pragyan Kesha Goswami Maharaj and His Divine Grace Nityalila Vishnu Vishwapashla Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. So Yashodanandan Prabhu is my senior. I've always seen him. I don't remember a time when I didn't see him with Gurudev serving and bringing so much smile, in his face. So that's how I know, which people they brought joy to Gurudev and those who didn't. Like genuinely, they caused pain to Gurudev, and some people Gurudev was neutral because some people they just came to be on the ride. But Yashodanandan Prabhu, Gurudev really loved you and loves you now, and by your order, I'm here. I'm here to speak something. Um, so I met Gurudev in '99, and but really, I'm still trying to see him. I'm still trying to, you know, meet him in some other way, in some place. Like Gurudev used to say that you have to really, like Gurudev said two things, right? You have to either, you have to come to the ultimate goal. So I'm trying, but nothing is happening. So many Vaishnava prads, and I'm still stuck in this material world. So anyway, so I was in ISKCON, and I was going to get initiated by one of the zonal gurus. I also liked him. I tested him, uh, and I felt like in Delhi, I felt like he was really qualified Vaishnav. Definitely, he helped me with so many things. He helped me with so much cleanup to get rid of eating onions and chai. Some of the things. I was always born vegetarian, but as a typical Indian or Delhi wala, we'll eat a lot of onions and drink a lot of chai, and and have like some bad habits, which you develop when you go to school, you go to college. So so when I was in SCON, they helped me prepare, they helped me, clean up some of my things. But for some reason, whenever I was put up for initiation, it won't happen. Like the car will break down, or the days will get mixed up. And then I remember a devotee came from Portuguese, and they wanted to see if we can make a documentary on Vrindavan, and I said, okay, let's do it. So in those days, I used to make TV series, and I used to make a lot of things for ISKCON devotees also, like record Bhagavad Saptas and all those things. So I went everywhere in ISKCON. So in Vrindavan, and we recorded a documentary on Vrindavan. Like we went to all the temples, and we had actually had my friend do the emceeing, and he talked about every temple. Like this is Madan, this is Govindji, this is Madan Gopal, this is Madan Mohan, this is Radharaman. So like this, they talked about all the temple, and wherever I'll go, the devotees, the temple pujaris, they will think that I was disciple of Srila Narayana Maharaj, and I was like, who is this? Srila Narayana Maharaj. If they will find out that I was from ISKCON, they would want like big money, like, oh, you're from a rich temple, so give me some donation. And I'm like, I'm just shooting something for the glories of Krishna. And they said, no, give money, donation. I said, okay. And then they'll want a lot. And then if they misunderstand me for Gurudev's disciple, because over a period of like 1 week of shooting, they started thinking I'm Srila Narayana Maharaj's disciple. And then they started like saying, oh, you're Srila Narayana Maharaj disciple. Yeah, come, shoot, no problems. And they won't take any donation. They will give me prasadam. They will give me so much like, love and affection. So I started seeing the signs, that how Gurudev was working as more and more I was doing seva in Vrindavan, and the more and more, I was praying, Gurudev just started like, reaching out to me in so many different ways. I remember like there was a devotee from Germany, which I've never seen this person. She gave me a script. She said, can you help me with the script? And the script was not that good. But because I read that script, she gave me the picture of Gurudev. And then somebody gave me a book of Pinnacle of Devotion one day. And then when I went back from shooting, I did pick up a book of Gaur Govind Maharaj called Embarkment of Separation. So I remember like I had the picture of Gurudev, and I was still in ISKCON. So I thought, what I'm going to do with this, because being nice, I took the picture. So what should I do? So I put it in my upper drawer in the altar, but I still did not put him on the altar, right? Because I was not ready for that. I didn't understand. For me, Srila Prabhupada was everything, and he was the only one that can be on the altar for me, of that, guru or that acharya, that a great example. So, and you have to understand, like, I'm born in India, I've seen everything, and my father had introduced me to a lot of things. A lot of like sannyasis from Shankaracharya Mutt used to come, Chinmaya Mission used to come, also from different bhakti line, Ramanucharya Mutt and Madhvacharya Mutt, all used to come to our house. They used to come all the time. And and sometimes I'll have debates with them, as a kid, and and I'll just challenge them like, hey, so you're a sannyasi, why are you going in a car? You're a sannyasi, why you're wearing a watch? So I'll just like rub it into them, and it's just, and sometimes I used to be like, just serve them, so serve them, do something. But really, I was not attracted to anybody, and the philosophy of everybody was very dry for me. It didn't like really speak to me. And And here I am. I have Prabhupada on my altar in my heart, and also in my house. And now I have an altar for almost 2.5 years, my own personal altar, separate from my house. And so I put Gurudev on the side. And on the same trip, when I was shooting, uh, I was going to take the shot of Radha Kund. And then I heard Mahanidhi Maharaj is giving class on the other side. And so I went to Mahanidhi Maharaj, and Mahanidhi Maharaj said, and it was Karthik. He said, today, Srila Narayana Maharaj, he just came a few hours back. Srila Gurudev, he came, and then he took bath in Radha Kund. He came at around 9 a.m. in the morning that was the day of Radha Kund appearance on Karthik. So he came 9 a.m. and he took the bath, or 8 or whatever time it was, and he left. And he gave instruction that only karmis, they take bath at night. And because of desire for something, because there's so many materialistic people that are there in Radha Kund right now. They're wanting for so many things, so there is a thing that on that night, if you throw a pumpkin in Radha Kund and pray to Radha Kund, then you'll have a son or a daughter or something like that. So I was with this person. He said, can you give me some money? I said, well, for what? He said, just give me some money. And he took the money and he went and did puja for a son, and he got it from Radha Kund. So I also went to Radha Kund, and I, prayed for Srila Gurudev that, I get a guru, a Sadguru like Srila Prabhupada. And a night before, actually, I forgot that. So I am all over the place. That's the thing with improv. So a night before, I met Bhakti Baba Puri Maharaj. And I was recording a video from his thing for Seva Kunj, right? So Bhakti Swarup Sridhar Maharaj was there, and then one more Nishkinchan Maharaj was there. That was 98. And he said, why don't you take initiation from Maharaj? He's here right now. And I went to Maharaj and I said, I want to take initiation from somebody who is like you. Can you bless me so that I can have a guru like you? He said, yes, you will have a guru like me. Don't worry. I bless you. So this is next day. I got the script. I might get to meet Mahanidhi Maharaj. He spoke about Gurudev. And then I went to Radha Damodar the same night. I got a book of Bhagavad Gita, which had picture of Gurudev. And I asked the bookkeeper, that store owner, what is this? Who has written this Hindi book? Who is this sannyasi who looks like a Westerner? Because if you look at Bhagavad Gita, Hindi, the back of book, Gurudev looks like so white. His eyes are blue. He doesn't look Indian at all, from the skin perspective, right? So I'm like, he's who is he? He said, it's Srila Narayana Maharaj. I said, wow. So I thought in my mind, wow. So now ISKCON devotees are even writing books, in Hindi, and they're so nice, and they're writing another version. I was like, wow, so I was thinking like this. So I had no idea all these things were coming to me. And then when I go back home, I'm reading Embarkment of Separation. And Embarkment of Separation is Gaur Govind Maharaj book. It talks about Rath Yatra. It talks about so many intimate pastime of, Radha Krishna and so many other things about devotion. And it has a certain language. And I was thinking to myself, oh, I wish I had met this devotee and took initiation from him. And what misfortune of mine that I couldn't do that or meet him, because he's already passed in 96. So I was reading for many hours. And I think it was 4 or 5 hours I was reading. I got up to get some water, restroom and all that stuff. That was 4 a.m. I read a whole night I was reading. And I came back, I picked up the book, started reading. And now the Embarkment of Separation became even more sweeter. I felt like, oh my God, this is flowing in Gauranga Mahaprabhu's pastimes. The topic of Anprit Charim Charat, Karuna Vritin Kalo. So all those things are flowing, So I started reading and reading. After half an hour, I realized that this is a different book. I'm reading the book of Srila Gurudev. And then I realized, oh, this person is here and that person is gone into Samadhi. So here we go. And he's in my altar. and in the drawer. So I took his picture out and I put him on the altar, like, like on the side, that, okay, you're here, you're a Vaishnav, but, I still don't think you're my guru. So I went to Mahanidhi Maharaj next day, and I didn't sleep. I just went at 8 o'clock. Mahanidhi Maharaj was in Delhi. So I went to him, and Mahanidhi Maharaj has been engineered in bringing a lot of devotees to Gurudev, like Siddhanti Maharaj, Madhapriya Prabhu, so many people. Like a year before, they went to Srila Puri Maharaj, and then they came to Gurudev. So, so I went to him, and he was like a little bit like, nervous, because he didn't want to openly talk about Srila Gurudev. So he said to me, like, I said, what should I do? I feel like my heart is going toward this direction, and I feel I don't want to leave ISKCON. And there's this guru that I'm supposed to take initiation from. I've tested him. I like him. I've been testing him for almost 2.5 years. So what should I do? He said, when you're a farmer and you have limited money, what kind of seeds do you buy? I said, what kind of question is this? Obviously, I buy the best quality seeds, He said, okay. And so you're a farmer with limited faith, and and you are going for initiation. So that's your answer. So what you're saying, that this guru that I'm following, he's a better seed, or he's a better seed? He said, oh my God, you're gonna get me in trouble now. I said, no, Maharaj, just speak to me directly, because this is a life and death decision for me. So you have to kind of like make it straight up for me, And he said, okay, go to Srila Narayana Maharaj. He has served Prabhupada. He told me about the pastime of the Samadhi. He told me about the pastime of sannyas. He told me about like how he used to go there. He also told me about like how he has such solid devotees around him, like Premanand Prabhu, Krishna Priya Didi, um, Shubhanand Prabhu at that time, later on became Tirath Maharaj, Rasanand Prabhu, which became now Sridhar Maharaj, Madhav Maharaj, Naveen Krishna. So he said, he started taking the name of all these, people who are brahmachari. He said, like, look at his team, like, look at the brahmacharis that he has trained, So he said, he's older, but if you take initiation, then you will get trained by those brahmacharis and sannyasis. So I said, okay, so that makes sense. And then that was it for me. Kind of like he nudged me in that direction and helped me a lot. So I always, whenever I meet Mahanidhi Maharaj, and through this medium also, I'm actually really grateful to him, because, and the reason I'm talking about this story, Gurudev doesn't like these kind of stories, but the reason I'm talking about this is because on the path to find Guru, there are many ways that Guru comes, First of all, Guru comes by the mercy of a Vaishnav. Like, for example, I feel like if Bhakti Baba Puri Maharaj wouldn't have come, things wouldn't have been so easy for me. Like, next moment, I went outside of his mat, I went to Radha Damodar temple, I put Gurudev's book in my hand. That's like what first thing that happened to me, And then after that, next day, so many devotees came to me who were Srila Gurudev's disciple, or who liked him or talked about him. His book came to me. Everything came to me automatically. So I felt like, Gurudev just like except like he just like was just I was like so fallen in such a confused state, and he just picked me up. He just sent me the signs. And Shashikala Didi, the famous French Didi, she met me. After this, I go back to Radha Damodar temple. Like, I made my mind now. I went to Mathura, and then I went to Radha Damodar, and for some reason, she just came to me. I think you will be Srila Gurudev's disciple one day. I'm like, okay, I mean, who are you? So you know how Didi can be like really intense sometime. And she was like she was feeling something. I'm like, okay, I have no idea how that will happen. He's not here. He's in Australia right now. So he was in Australia. So back in the days, Gurudev will, after Kartik, he will go to Australia for a few months, and then he'll come back, and then he'll go to America after that for a few months. So that was his tours. And then for me, after that, the waiting game started. Right now, like he's my guru. I've decided this is it. Right, he is my guru. So, and what I'm going to do next? So I'm waiting for him. I'm meeting all the devotees. I'm listening to classes of different Vaishnavas who are following Gurudev. You know, all the Didis and Prabhus and everybody. You know, nobody was sannyasi then, and just like trying to like understand. So those few months were like the most magical months I can remember. I just learned so much about Gurudev, and from different angle. Like, you know, Savita Didi had her own flavor about Gurudev. She had her own angle, like how she had this mamta that Gurudev is mine, you know, and he loves me the most. I'm the, you know, and Krishna Priya Didi was more like, you know, that she will like serve Gurudev from a distance and very hidden, and her heart will have everything, but her eyes will speak so many things, but she won't express it like, you know, openly ever. And you can feel that energy, you know. And then Prabhuji, Premanand Prabhu, serving all the time, like anybody who came in and was trying to like serve or trying to be close to Gurudev, he'll just like do everything possible to make that person comfortable. And I didn't meet Madhav Maharaj. I didn't meet Van Maharaj because they were both traveling. I didn't meet Tirath Maharaj. But when I met Tirath Maharaj in Navadip, he was like this, like, you know, young, very powerful, an extraordinary personality, you know, just like, and I could understand why Gurudev liked him so much. I met Haripriya Prabhu, who's now like, you know, a teacher in ISKCON right now. But I met him. Gurudev really loved him. He was a Sanskrit scholar, and Gurudev really like, you know. So I learned a lot from all these different people. The reason I'm saying is that, like, you know, this whole, like, you know, this angle, like what we are doing here now, like understanding what Gurudev is, it just came to me. And then when Gurudev arrived, I felt like they have all washed me, all disciples of Gurudev who had been with Gurudev for 20, 30 years. They've all washed me with their mercy. That when I met him at the airport, I was ready for Harinam. I said, Gurudev, I want to take Harinam right now. I said, why such a hurry? I said, I don't know. I said, you're in hurry because you think that if I will take Samadhi, Gurudev said about him, then what will happen to you? I said, no, Gurudev, what if I'm trying to cross the street and some truck run over me? So I want to have a guru, like, you know, now I need to have a, you know. So Gurudev said, okay, come to Mathura, I'll give it to you. So he gave me Harinam. And after 1 week, he gave me, I told Madhav Maharaj that, please, I need Gopal mantra. And he said, shave your head. I shaved my head. And then he said, Gurudev is going to give you Diksha. So, so when I shaved my head, I went to Gurudev. Gurudev was like, oh, your hair was so nice. It was so beautiful. Why did you cut it? I'm like, Gurudev, Madhav Maharaj told me to cut it. He told me that you're supposed to cut your hair. I said, okay, good that you cut your hair. And then Gurudev, you know, at Harinam, I remember like I was in Mathura, and I wanted to have this big mala, you know, thick, like, you know, those big ones that devotees will have. And I said, you know, in ISKCON, like everybody have that this big mala, and it makes like this noise, kadak, kadak, you know, when you're chanting, kadak, 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 kadak. I said, you know, I want that, like, you know, so that makes noise to my ear when I'm doing it. So with that mindset, I was like, okay, I'll go get the biggest mala. So in the mutt, there was a Babaji in that mutt itself. He used to make mala. So he used to make mala in the mutt with his like tools, and like he'll like, you know. So he gave me a mala. I remember it was 100 rupees. That those days 100 rupees was a lot. So he gave me a mala, big mala, thick, you know. So I'm like, okay, here you go, you know, for initiation. So I bring this big mala and I give it to Gurudev. Gurudev, please, you know, if you can, you know, Harinam. So one thing is that, you know, I've learned from Jab Dharma and also from even in ISKCON and other places. One reason, okay, so one reason why I left ISKCON, I love ISKCON, right? They're amazing. They gave me a test. They said, you know, so we are changing the rules. So now if you have to have a guru, you have to pass a test, you know, a disciple test. I said, okay. So is it going to be like a test of, because I came from this like understanding of learning from Sikhism. And in Sikhism, the test used to be that a guru will ask, like Arjan Dev, right? He asked his disciple, like, go build a wall. And then Guru came and he destroyed the wall. Then the disciple again made the wall. And that kept on going on for like 30, 40 days. And then Guru said, and he did not, the disciple did not even for a second flinch. He just kept on building the wall. And Guru came and he just destroyed the wall, completely. So I was like, okay, tests are typically like that, So yeah, I'm ready for the test. What do you want me to do? And so they gave me a paper, a 18 question paper, I remember. And I took that paper and I'm like, okay, what I'm supposed to do? I'm not good at writing and they want me to write. So I just, in those days, word processor was getting better and my spelling used to be really bad. So I started typing and started like researching. And as more and more I research, I realized this person that they're asking me to take initiation, he's not my guru, And when I met Gurudev, all those qualities of Guru, all those qualities of a Vaishnav was present in him in so many ways. In so many ways. So, anyways, I'm here thinking that everything I had to bring from my own. So I brought my own mala. So I gave it to Gurudev. Part of it was, so I gave it to Gurudev, the mala. And Gurudev took it and he said, this is so thick. Your hands are so soft. If you look at my hand, they're soft. He touched my hand. He said, look, your hand is soft. And your hand will bleed if you chant on this mala. I said, but Gurudev, I want this mala. He said, no, I'm giving you another mala. So he gave me a 10 mala. I think it's the mala that Gopinath and Prabhu used to sponsor, Tung Vidya Didi. So this was like 10 nice mala, that he gave me. And I said, but Gurudev, can you touch that mala? I said, no, that mala, he just kept it. I said, I'm not giving you this mala. It's too big. It's too rough. You're not getting it. So I said, okay, So then initiation happened after 1 week, on, I think Advait Saptami or something like, it was not Advait Saptami because we made rice. So it was something else. So it was one of those days, I got initiation after a week. I basically said, Gurudev, can you give me initiation? Hari Diksha said, you're in a hurry. I said, yes, Gurudev, I finally found you. So I have to, So he said, okay, I'll give you. So I shaved my head and I was there. And then at the initiation ceremony, Gurudev gave me the name Padmanabh. Oh, Gurudev gave me the name Pankaj. So my name was already Pankaj, right? So Gurudev said, your name is Pankaj. So I told Madhav Maharaj. So I remember like I was on the second floor. Gurudev was on the top floor. And I said, Gurudev, can you give me a name that, that you would like me to have? He said, okay, I give you Padmanabh. And he gave me the name Padmanabh. But then he said, I will always call you Pankaj. I said, okay, Gurudev. Said, your name is Pankaj, it's fine. So that's why Gurudev never called me Padmanabh. Whenever somebody will say, oh, Padmanabh is here, and Gurudev said, where? I'm like, Gurudev, I'm here, Gurudev. And Gurudev was like, oh, Pankaj is here. Okay, so then I told one day Gurudev stayed at my house, and I mean, there are so many things I can talk about, but just to name. So Gurudev stayed at my house in Delhi in 2005 or something. He stayed in my house a few times in Delhi. So I went to Gurudev. Gurudev, you always say like, you always call me Pankaj, but my name is Padmanabh. You gave me Padmanabh. He said, yeah, but can you change my name back to Pankaj or whatever? He said, you know what? Your name from now onward is Punk. So like this, Gurudev will joke with me about different things, So all I can say is that, in that whole process, I realized like how much Gurudev, I mean, before even coming to Gurudev, I started realizing the glories of Gurudev through the eyes of the people. Gurudev didn't have to say that how great he is, already like through the messages and through other people and through other Vaishnavas, the glories of Gurudev was like sung everywhere. And Gurudev was like uncompromising. Like they told him, say something else about Jiva. And Gurudev said, why? I'm not going to say anything. This is what the Jiva philosophy is. And this is how I'm going to say it. And he was banned. I was in one of the GBC meetings when the GBC guys came, and they were apologizing. They said, one thing I don't understand. You banned me, but why do you ban my disciples? Why are you not nice to my disciples? Said, no, we're going to change the resolution. We're going to do this. And he said, you banned me. And because you banned me, I went everywhere and I preached. And I brought so many devotees like a lion, I just preached. So so that's how it was, so I saw like this whole ban was really actually good for us, because if Gurudev was not banned in ISKCON, then what will happen? He would be like one of the, he just wanted to take Shiksha Guru position. He just wanted to teach them. He just wanted to teach the devotees. He just wanted to teach the gurus in ISKCON. And through that, he wanted to teach everybody. But when that happened, Gurudev in 96, he had to just go out. And then guess what? He came out to us. He came out for us. Krishna made that arrangement for us. So I look at this whole ban and actually a boon. Actually, I went to a couple of GBC members and I told them, thank you for banning my Gurudev. He said, why would you say that? I said, because if you wouldn't have banned, you wouldn't have come to me. I'll be your disciple, So, so they were like, oh my God, who's this guy? So I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. So I see ban as a different thing. When Krishna is moving us from one place to another, he's pushing us, nudging us. And a Vaishnava of that caliber, when Krishna does that, like for example, in Udupi temple, the devotees, they close the door on this, devotee. And then guess what? Krishna turned his face toward that devotee through the windows. And now even till today, everybody is taking benefit of that, so that people who are not clean, people of all kind and race and whatever, can go to that temple and see Krishna. Similarly, Gurudev, if he was not banned, then he would be doing his bhajan in Mathura. He might have come like once or twice to the west, right? And would have traveled under a very strict guidelines and on the red carpet on a very like a narrow path. But Gurudev came and then he just took over everything. Like back in the days, if you look at Prabhupada gave initiation to I think 5,000 or 4,500 disciples total. And we calculated, me and Brajnath Prabhu, we calculated, because I like to do these kind of calculation. 3,500 disciples of Prabhupada were with Gurudev at one point. They all were with Gurudev. Gurudev went everywhere. He saw suffering. People who were initiated by either Prabhupada or they were initiated by other gurus who had fallen down. They were all suffering. They went back to taking drugs. They went back to their old jobs. They started doing pics. Instead of doing book distribution, they started selling stickers or flags and the whole what's going to happen in our organization a little bit is that when a guru leaves, the people who were close to guru, they will be kicked out, and then those who were they were new, they just were going to start taking over. It's going to happen. It will happen, and it has started happening. So what happened to those devotees? They had no association of each other or of the temple or whatever. So Gurudev came and he started giving them association, and he started traveling at that age, and if you look at the GBC lectures of that, what Gurudev is telling to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he's saying, I do not want to travel. I want you to travel. I'm giving you this information. You give it to your disciple. I don't want to be a guru. I want you to be an awesome guru, because that is what Prabhupada wanted you to be. He gave his letters and everything to Satsuru Maharaj. He said, here you go, take the juice, take the juice of bhakti. And you, Gurudev said, has more organizational skill. Go and distribute it everywhere. No need to I'm old. Gurudev at that time. So back in the days, Gurudev was in Mathura.
Need to start reaching conclusion, Prabhu.
Okay. And Gurudev had multiple heart problems. He had a heart attack. He had so many things. And Gurudev will travel to Bombay, and he'll travel to, he actually saved Juhu Beach. He saved the temple of ISKCON. Juhu Beach is saved so many temples because the sons and the family of Prabhupada, they wanted to take over some of these temples. They said, Prabhupada is our father, and all these temples belongs to us. These are prime properties in India. Like Juhu Beach temple is itself like now like close to $1 billion property, right? So back in the days, it was like a lot of money. So they wanted to take over all those places, and Gurudev came and he spoke in quotes again and again and again. And he helped ISKCON. All he wanted to do was just help devotees. He just wanted to go and see the places where Prabhupada had done pastime. Like the way we want to see places where Gurudev has done pastime, Prabhupada has done pastime. Gurudev just wanted to do that. And he just wanted to enrich people. But for us, at the end of the day, he left all that comfort. Krishna like put him in a position, or he did himself, and he extended his arm to each and every one of us. Basically, he went to like people like Yashodanandan Prabhu, who became his disciple early on, and they became one of the solid pillars in establishing the preaching in the West. He established his Bhakti Trust. He had 11 devotees there. Yashodanandan Prabhu was there. And like this, he started traveling wherever, like, even people were threatened. They were banned from their old organization for helping Gurudev. But Gurudev just kept on, flowing with bhakti in everybody's heart. And today, like, after 20 something years of meeting Gurudev, he's still here. And we're still trying to, like, see him in his Vani. I'm still trying to see him in you devotees, because he's there, but really he's there in the heart of really, amazing devotees, awesome devotees. And I hope that, one day I get his mercy, I get his chastisement. I remember, like, I told devotees, I started preaching, and suddenly everybody started thinking that I'm like this like high star preacher, and everybody was giving me like so much respect. And Gurudev was also being very nice to me because I brought all these devotees, and he was trying to be like, I said, I don't feel the taste because Gurudev didn't chastise me. And then Charu Chandrika Didi will tell you like how I got chastised in front of 1,000 people in Badger. That was amazing. And I felt like, thank you, Gurudev. You're still here. In front of 1,000 people, I got like smashed so badly. I loved it. And then after that, it was so bad that Gurudev called Brajnath. He said, send Pankaj here. So after his class, I was with Gurudev for 2.5 hours, just sitting in his room. That's it. So it was great. I loved that. That chastisement was amazing, because then I get to spend more time with Gurudev. So that was good. So I wish I can get that. I can get that directly through him. I can get guidance through him. Gurudev told me one thing, and I'm going to finish with this. I asked Gurudev, like, who should be my Shiksha Guru? Because your instructions are, you should always find Shiksha Guru, this and that, Who should be my Shiksha Guru? He said, who else? I'm your Shiksha Guru. I'm your Diksha Guru. I'm giving you everything. Where I'm going. Where did I go? So you serve me. That's it. And he said that to many people. Ashram Maharaj, I know, a few other devotees. Gurudev said, one thing about Gurudev was that you just like, I remember like I was trying to go here and there, because after that initial, like, 3-4 months of coming into the mart, I started going everywhere, spending time with this devotee, that devotee. And Gurudev said, well, where were you? I said, I was in that person's class. He said, why? This is like early, like first, third month. He said, because just wanted to understand. He said, even if you spend like 5 or 10% of the time that you're spending there with me, you'll get everything. That was like in the beginning. So don't spend your time here and there. So the only thing I'll say to devotees, that especially who are initiated by Gurudev, don't spend time here and there. I mean, get juice, get information from people. respect all the Vaishnav, like the way this platform is doing, right? Respecting all the Vaishnavas, doing seva of all Vaishnav. But one thing that this platform is doing, and that is what we need to do in our life, that when we wake up, we show ourselves as a great example of Gurudev disciple, that when we walk, people say, this is Gurudev disciple. That is how we have to be. Gurudev is giving us mercy, but this is our duty to Gurudev, that's how we need to be, not just, whatever, water down everything. So anyway, those are my 2 cents. I'll speak more. I have like a lot, but I just went all over the place. Taking care of a toddler. I have a daughter who's only like 19 months old, and she loves Nitai Goranga. And so I was playing for her Nitai Goranga like 100 times. I'm just like, it's just in my head. And she loves Gurudev. So I'm fortunate for that. And I felt like Gurudev did hint me that I might have a daughter. So he kind of like did. There are many things I'll tell you, like, what Gurudev said. He hinted, and now I'm like realizing, oh, this is what he was saying. So I'm grateful for my daughter. I'm grateful for whatever I have. And I'm grateful for you, Yashodan Prabhu. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. And Yashodra Didi, thank you also, because without your enthusiasm, that Shakti, the daughter Shakti that is there, these things are not possible, So grateful for that.
Pankaj, I'm thinking kind of spontaneously here. Now we've got Pankaj part 2 on the 15th. Your lovely wife, who I pay my dandavats to, maybe she should say something with you as well, although that might take a little time away from you, so you might not like that, but think about it, because that would be very sweet to have you both on. And thank you so much for stepping in and covering my incompetence. That was very kind.
No. You are the most competent. What you're doing is so needed. You're putting everybody on the platform. This is what Gurudev used to do. What did Gurudev did on Guru Purnima, especially on Janmashtami, and on this Roop Sanatan, Roop Goswami, day. Gurudev just invited everybody. That's where I met Srila Bharati Maharaj. That's where I met Bhakti Vallabh Tirth Maharaj. I met all the Vaishnavas there, everybody. And Gurudev will like host them, and he'll take us there. And he showed us how you be. Yashodananda Prabhu, you were always there. One thing I want to say, can I say one more thing before I go? I really felt I needed to say about Yashodananda Prabhu. So Gurudev, there's a way of serving, right? So there was one time, and I'm going to give an example, and I'm going to come to you. So there was a lady, she came to Mathura, and I was there, and she had no money. She was kind of like used to do. She used to make garlands, and she had like small coins that she has collected whole day, and she had like maybe like less than a rupee, and it was like tied and like this thing. So she came, and then the big businessman from Mathura were there, and they came to give donation like in big like bags, So Gurudev was talking to them, and then this lady came, and everybody's like, no, just don't disturb. Gurudev is talking to very important people. Said, no, let her come in. Gurudev said in Mathura. And I said, yeah. Said, so she was old. Said, Lali, what did you bring? He said, oh, I brought you some, donation. He said, no, you should keep it. So no, you must take it. So she opened her sari like this, and then took out like few coins. And Gurudev took those coins and he put it in his pocket, upper pocket. And he told those Mathurawalas, the guys who were giving like hundreds of thousands of dollars, or maybe a lot of money actually. He said, this woman, when she left, he said, this woman, this is her everything. This is what she made, and this is her everything. And she gave her 100% to me. And you are super rich, and you're giving me a tiny bit of that. I'm grateful for it, but really what I want is your heart. So coming back to Yashodananda Prabhu, I remember like there was one devotee, he was giving donation, but he wanted to take receipts from Gurudev, like how you're spending it, right? And Gurudev was like, you know what? I don't want your money. He said, no, I want to give. He said, no, I don't want your money. I take the money and do whatever with it. It's my responsibility. You're nobody to dictate me what I do with it. And on the other side, I was there in Navadip when you gave huge donations for building that temple. And this is what you said to Gurudev. Gurudev, this money is yours. Either you burn it, you do whatever, because Gurudev asked you, what do you want me to do with this? Said, do, because people will say, oh, get me, you can donate toward the temple dome, do this, do that, right? Or Murti, blah, 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 right? Gurudev, and you said, Gurudev, this money is yours and do whatever with it. You burn it, you use it. This is yours. This energy is yours. I'm like, I remember I was behind you. So that was your mood, always serving Gurudev. And I took from that also. I learned from that experience also. So thank you for your service.
Well, I can't actually remember any of that. So it's like you're talking about someone else. But
I'm talking about you. I will talk about you. I was there.
But he taught me, Gurudev taught me in my heart, because of course I'm foreign to all of this. I didn't know anything. But Gurudev taught me in my heart that the moment I decided to give what's not mine anyhow, because any money I have is not mine. This is just a false concept. But any money that was supposedly mine, as soon as I decided to give it to him, then the mercy came. I could actually feel it almost physically. And so the transaction was done. The mercy transaction, which has caused us anyhow, was done. He gave me the money in the first place to give back to him. So it's a beautiful thing. But we're running a bit late on time. So I had about 5 things I wanted to comment on your wonderful, ambling, peripatetic discourse. But there are a couple of things that I wanted to really highlight from what you said, which I think is very pertinent. One is that I loved how you expressed how Gurudev is so alive in his devotees. This is beautiful, because actually in the same way that all Guru is a Kanda and Vyesti, between all the Gurus, Guru himself is a Kanda and Vyesti. Like, you have a different relationship with Gurudev than I have. You were saying Shashikala had a different mood, but while there was one Gurudev, there was many Gurudev to our many disciples, and yet we all feel we're special, and we're all relishing how he interacted with each one of us without there being any jealousy. It's a very beautiful thing. And we get nourished by each other, remembering Gurudev, and like Guru Punim, we have just been relished. We just felt that relish by experiencing what everybody else is experiencing of their Guru. And Pankaj, obviously you weren't here at the beginning, but just to let you know that when this program ends on our 64th show, we're then going to carry on. Instead of Gurudev Memories, it's going to be Guru Memories, and it's going to be called Sharing for Eternity. And we're going to open up to all the Mahabhagavats and the whole multiple sanghas. So that's going to be very exciting. And the other thing I wanted to highlight was what you said about ISKCON, because you'll know this as a businessman, new concepts often get created in new companies. Like Microsoft didn't come up with the best search engine, Google did.
Yeah.
In the same way it happens in the spiritual realm. Like, there's no way that the milk could got churned as it did in ISKCON without it going through Gurudev. But then what happens is Google becomes bigger than Microsoft and influences everybody. So it's a very subtle and beautiful thing, the way Mahaprabhu is churning this, because the walls are coming down. Gurudev's books are going into ISKCON. Gurudev's disciples are marrying ISKCON disciples. We are doing Harinam together. The walls that are in the sky of these so-called institutions, they're all crashing down, because we all know that around Guru, there's only 2 things, bhakti and mercy. There are no walls and there are no borders. So all that's happening now is we're now sailing down the river towards the ocean of prema and the ocean of bhakti as it's meant to be. And no one is interested anymore in walls. No one is interested anymore in dams. We just want to be with Guru. And so it had to happen as it did at the time, but now everything is getting reconciled really beautifully. So thank you for that, Pankaj. Prabhu, and looking forward to having you back in 2 weeks' time, maybe with your good wife.
Oh yeah,
that was wonderful, really wonderful.
She's gonna make me look good, so that's good.